Hey guys, it's Ashley. Today is Wednesday, which means it is once again time for Top 5 Wednesdays. This is a challenge that was created by Lainey at Ginger Reads Lainey. I will link her channel and the Goodreads group down below if you would like to check it out. Today's topic is the top 5 side characters that you wish had their own series. I was really excited about this one, and then it ended up being really difficult to find 5 characters that I wanted to give their own series to. So most of these characters are just characters that I just want a little more from, maybe like a novella or a book, not necessarily an entire series, but we'll go through all that. So number 5 on my list is Jacob from the Twilight series. I just think it would be really interesting to hear some of these stories from his perspective. He grew up with all of these legends and thought that they were just stories, and then all of a sudden one day he starts turning into a werewolf. I think that would be really fun to read his point of view on that. The rest of the series, but I would like a novella or something from his perspective about that whole part of it and getting into this world of vampires. So I think Jacob would be a cool side character to hear a little bit more from. Now I gotta put a disclaimer on my number 4 because I've only read the first 3 books in this 6-book series, and I know that there's a novella series, and I think that I heard that it is from this character's perspective, but I'm not sure, and I'm too lazy to go look it up right now. So I'm just gonna say it, and then you guys can leave me comments down below if this novella series really is about him. But that character is Simon from the Shadowhunter series. It's not the Shadowhunter series, it's the Mortal Instrument series. I really like Simon. I think he's just a really cool character, and I think he gets dealt a lot of crap along with Clary, but Clary at least has this like built-in family of Shadowhunters to kind of help her out, and Simon's just left on his own to deal with it. And I know in the 3rd book, which is the last book that I read, we get this big thing happens with Simon, and I would really like to hear more of it from his perspective. I know we got a little bit of his perspective in that book, but I would just like his perspective on the whole Shadowhunter thing, the whole beginning of it, when Clary first finds out that she's a Shadowhunter, and he's right there the whole time, and, you know, except for that part where he gets turned into a rat and all of that stuff. But I'd really like that from his point of view. I think he's a really interesting character, and I would love more from him. For my 3rd character, it's not exactly a side character. He's actually kind of one of the main characters in the book, but I would like his perspective on it, and that is Pita from the Hunger Games series. I really like Pita. Team Pita all the way. Not that I have anything against Gale, just she belonged with Pita. But I really like Pita, and I would really like to get his input on the Hunger Games. The whole first one, I'd love to see his side of it. And then as the whole series progresses, when they're separated, I really want to know his perspective on what happened in the Capitol. I think it would be a whole different kind of book. I think it would be a lot darker than the Hunger Games series currently is, because he was, you know, locked in the Capitol and tortured and brainwashed and all of that crazy stuff. But I really want to hear it from his point of view. And I think now, you know, Suzanne Collins, all of the fans that read Hunger Games when they first came out, we're all older now. We could handle a little bit more darkness if you want to give us a Pita sequel. Coming in at number 2 are actually 2 characters because I couldn't decide, and that is Neville Longbottom and Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series. I love those 2 characters. I know most of us do. They're just fantastic characters with really good backstories that we don't really see much of. We just kind of get glimpses, and I want to know their stories. So whether it's novellas, whether we do a whole series on them, I just want more input on both of them, especially on Neville, because he was, you know, the other one that could have been the one to fulfill all the prophecies. It could have been Neville too, and he had his own crap to deal with, everything with his parents and just all of it. My phone just made noise. I just want to know Neville's side of things and how he went from being like this really awkward, shy kid and to growing up and chopping the head off of Voldemort's snake. The whole progression there, I want to see more of it. I think it would just be a great read. And then Luna is so quirky and adorable and had all of these things go on with her life, and we don't really know too much about it, but I would like to. I want them to have their own thing. And then how cool would it be if after Harry Potter they just go on and have their own adventures together? That would be the greatest. The greatest. Coming in at number 1 is Annabeth from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I love Annabeth. I think she's an awesome character. I love that we get more of her in The Lost Hero, and I assume the rest of that series, but I've only read The Lost Hero so far. But I just love Annabeth, and I wish we could get more from her perspective. I would like if you want to give us a series, I'll take a series, but at least a book, like a prequel of her whole life before Percy came along, because Annabeth is a really different kind of demigod than Percy was. You know, Percy had his mom, they had a really close relationship, and then the whole thing of him, how he got to camp, is a totally different story than a lot of demigods, and definitely way different than Annabeth. And I know we got a lot of the stories and we got some of the details throughout the books, but I just would really like to see, from Annabeth's perspective, how it felt to run away from home and how it felt to wander around and all these scary monsters coming after you, how it felt to be with Luke and Talia, because I know that it was strong emotions and we saw those coming through in the series, but I would like to see it from her perspective. I want to see Luke and Talia through her eyes so that we understand a little bit more her actions during this series. I think it would be really interesting to see that. And then all of the summers that she spent at camp before Percy came along. She lived there, like, year-round, and we don't really know much of what happened there, except she and Luke had this relationship, and she and Talia had this relationship, and then the whole thing with Talia getting turned into a tree. And I want all of that from Annabeth's perspective. And I'm sure that there were crazy things that happened at camp before Percy came along. So can we have those stories, please, Uncle Rick? Because Annabeth. I love Annabeth. So those are the top 5 characters that I would most like to see more of in the form of a series, a book, or novellas. I'm not picky. I will take any of them, really. I just want more of them. So I'm curious who's in your top 5 characters that you would like more from. Please leave me a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you later. Bye!